Wait, President Tinubu just introduced this man as his former classmate at Chicago State University. But there is a problem. This is Alexander Zygman. He's a businessman from Belarus. And according to President Tinubu, they schooled together in Chicago. But here is the plot twist. Zygman was born in 1966 and President Tinubu graduated in 1979. That means Zygman would have been just 13 years old at the time. So at the age of 13, he was classmate with Tinubu at Chicago State University. Well, maybe he skipped some grades, who knows? But remember, Tinubu's academic records have already caused a global storm to people questioning the diploma he submitted. Now, this classmate story is adding even more fire. Atiku's camp is already dragging President Tinubu online, calling it a major lie. Why would the president of Nigeria introduce someone whose timeline clearly doesn't match? And this same man have been arrested before in DR Congo following allegations of arms trafficking. My people, what do you think is going on and what is your thought on this?
This equipment, when deployed to empower mechanization and service providers, create job opportunity, make farmers easy and more sexy to our younger. You don't have to use 18th century method for a 21st century agricultural family.
This is a laudable achievement, but I just wanted to say that our president loved the word sexy. Sexy, make it sexy for the youth. But in the meantime,
I don't think it was the one that used the word sexy.
Did you not hear him?
Well,
he just said, wait,
just to encourage young people. But let me quickly make a point. We were in this country when the administration before him, when they were distributing wheelbarrows and cutlass and hose. So it's good to see that there's an advancement, that the Tinubu administration is saying we should not adopt 18th century methods.
Yes, I like that.
We should have mechanized agriculture. He is distributing tractors, he's distributing modern implements. The people who distributed wheelbarrows and cutlasses, well, you know them.
Yes, I know that. But these tractors look really sexy.
I don't want to mention them.
Well, all right. The program actually is expected to bring over 550,000 hectares of farmland into cultivation, produce more than 2 million metric tons of staple food annually, and create over 16,000 jobs. The president also highlighted partnerships with countries like Belarus to provide training for young people in modern agriculture, technology, machine repairs, and fabrication. Let me take a tweet from the story. This is from Okechukwu, who wrote, good job. However, Nigerian farms and our forests must be cleared of bandits, terrorists, headsmen, Boko Haram, ISWAP, Ansari, etc. to enable the farmers use the farming equipment effectively and efficiently, which is the main point. These farmlands have to be safe and free. Before I come to both of you, I know Rufa wants to speak about the agricultural story, but I'll take this story before, for Vimbai. During the lunch, President Tinubu celebrated his longtime friend, Alex Zygman, who he said was a colleague from Chicago State University in Illinois. Tinubu described him as a very good neighbor, saying that he would never have dreamt of a time when he would be in the position of being president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, while Alex, a successful businessman from Belarus, will bring about collaboration and bilateral relationship that would promote economic prosperity for the future of the two countries. Let's take a look.
To all of you, Alex was my very good neighbor and went to the same school with me in Chicago. Never did we dreamt that I would be in this position as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and Alex will be a successful businessman from Belarus to bring about a very successful collaboration and bilateral relationship that will promote economic prosperity and future of our two countries. Alex, thank you very much for everything. I believe our university will be very, very proud that we are doing this here today.
All right, Vimbai. I mean, you know, Chicago was actually trending because of this particular story. I think Chicago University, but you know, it's nice to see the president and his Classmate, he said, right?
He said schoolmate.
Not classmate. Oh, schoolmate. Yeah. So there are differences. It could be younger, it could be older, it could be schoolmates. Go ahead.
I'm a huge advocate for agricultural revolution. So for me, this is a step in the right direction. It's very important for us to mechanize because that's the only way we can improve yield, scale up. We're looking at food security, and the president had declared a state of emergency on food security about 2 years ago when he came into office. So it's taken about 2 years to get up to speed, but it's good to see him making good on that. Yes. On Mr. Alex Sigmund, he's no stranger to the African continent. He's done business in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Zimbabwe, Zambia even. I know he was arrested in the Democratic Republic of Congo at some point after meeting the former President Joseph Kabila. In Zimbabwe, some of his transactions came under a huge scrutiny and criticism from the opposition. He also was an advocate who brought in, or rather a vehicle who was appointed as an honorary consul of Zimbabwe to Belarus, and he oversaw tractors, combined harvesters, even fire trucks being brought into Zimbabwe. But there were questions because people said, where are the tractors? Who used the tractors after they were imported? That was number one. Number two, there were no contracts. There was no formal tender process. So there was transparency around how these deals were conducted. And to date, people are still asking these multi-million-dollar deals that involve these contracts and all these agricultural implements, but we never got to understand or to see the transparency in the relationship between Mr. Alex Sigmund and the government of Zimbabwe. Similar concerns in Zambia as well. So I do hope that all that was done, I hope he's learnt, his lessons from all of those allegations and criticisms from opposition parties in other African countries in the past. And I hope the transactions he has done with our government are above board and, have gone through all the necessary processes.
Right. Thanks for that breakdown, Vimbai. Rufa.
Thank you so much. At least we actually the president's schoolmate. So for all you that say all sorts of things about the president, we've seen his schoolmate. And if you feel that you're not still impressed by that, there are records out there in Chicago. Go check if Alex went to Chicago. But that's the president's schoolmate. And it's just a deja vu moment to be able to see that the president has a schoolmate and they're doing well, they're very successful. But I'll raise concerns. Number one, and I'll read from Nigerian newspaper clippings. On the 17th of December 2024, a Vanguard news story said, Rep probes non-delivery of 2,000 tractors, orders despite 3 billion agreements. The agreement was estimated to cost Nigeria about $684 million and $138.6 billion as actual cost. That was in 2024. But also the interesting part is, and the interesting part about this, on the 10th of June 2024, the Nigerian Agricultural Development Fund and AGCOM's International Trading Limited also signed an agreement to procure another 2,000 tractors. That company is a John Deere sales rep in Nigeria. That was to cost $70 million. So we're having two transactions. I think the question for clarity is, the government should be able to explain to us, are these deals different? Secondly, the deal with Alex's company was to be able to build those tractors locally. And the question we're asking is, I know we used to have Steyr and Bauchi. Maybe you might say that it's already more abundant than the likes. But we have Bobcat in Port Harcourt that also build tractors. Why can't we also look inward as regards this? And I'll ask the following questions. Number one, has the rep probe been cleared now with this delivery? How many has come in? Let's take stock of it. How will it be distributed? What's the tractor per kilometer? What's the tractor per kilometer? What's the cost per tractor? All right? Why Belarus? Couldn't we have gotten a better deal? Why didn't we look inwards? And where is the tender bid at which Alex's company did win the bid to be able to supply this tractor? And then, is this Alex's tractor deal different from that the federal government signed $70 million contract with AGCOMS for 2,000 tractors? And the question I also want to ask is, based on the reportage here, why is this one estimated to cost over $700 million and the other one cost $70 million? I think there are many questions we should be able to ask. And are those tractors being built here? Are they assembled here? Because they said it's going to be fixed here. Those are just the questions I want to ask.
Okay. Yeah, those questions are valid. We can even add more to the questions. The key question that has been raised here is about cronyism. Is Mr. Alex, the schoolmate, getting this contract because he was a schoolmate of the president? Now, that would be favoritism. That would be cronyism. So his involvement in the entire process, how transparent and accountable is that? Two, the people talking about Chicago, I think, they're just being mischievous. It's not relevant. The election period is over.
Yes.
The Nigerian Constitution talks about the eligibility for the office of the president. Section 131. And those conditions is that you must be up to 40 years old. You must have school cert or its equivalent. Its equivalent just means even the ability to speak English. Although you may have attended one seminar or the other, and things like you should be a member of a political party. within the purview of Section 131 of the Constitution, I think it's a settled matter that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu fits the criteria. Indeed, he is even better qualified than some people, who have been president of Nigeria before him. If we're going to say we will review Section 131, that's another argument. It's not something you can use perpetually to blackmail in an unlawful manner.
Yes.
The third point, finally, is this renewed hope mechanization program. The onus is on the president, the administration, to make sure that it works. You have made a valid point, Ojinika, about security. So that farmers can have access to their farms, so that all the other issues, including infrastructure, can be made available, because it's not just about farming. It's also about getting your produce from the farm to the market. All of those issues have to be worked out in terms of details. And farming, food production, food security is just as important as energy security. And if the administration is focusing on that, I think we should encourage them.
Absolutely. Well said, you all. We'll head over to Abuja now, where the ongoing 3-month strike by primary school teachers in the Federal Capital Territory, which began on March 24th, 2025, has gained momentum after primary school children took their protest to the office of the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike, on Monday to draw his attention to their plight. The teachers' indefinite strike is due to the failure of area council chairpersons to implement the new national minimum wage of 70,000 naira. Activist Martins Vincent Osher, popularly known as Very Dark Man, led the protest dressed in a school uniform alongside uniformed children. They staged a mock classroom session teaching an alphabet rhyme that included pointed references to political figures. Let's take a look.
W for weekend. They have been out of school for 9 weeks. 9 weeks, so how many months? 9 weeks. 2 months and 1 week, Abi. Listen. The whole school in the whole entire FCT, the whole primary school, have been out of school for 9 weeks, and you said they'll be leaders of tomorrow.
All right, VDM had issued a 7-day ultimatum so that, the ministry and obviously the chairpersons can take account to what it is that the school children are asking for. And they said that they have listened. Hopefully, they'll resume session and pay the allocated minimum wage of 70,000 naira to the teachers really quickly.
Yep, I don't know how many hours VDM has in a day, but I don't think it's 24 hours. He has more hours because he moves from state to state and doing his advocacy work. So it's good to see this and, the creative way he did it, because I believe he also taught them a lesson while they were out there. So it wasn't just about bringing school children out. He tried to make it an educational experience. W for weekend. I'm glad that the Minister of the FCT has listened and just a plea to him that in all of his infrastructural developments that we've seen happening, whether it be roads, whether it be the conference center and so forth, not to forget the developments that really impact the most vulnerable directly. Schools, hospitals. Let's not forget that these are top priority.
Yes, absolutely. Our children are our future leaders. Absolutely. Kudos to VDM for that activism right there. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has responded to a recent security advisory issued by the United States Embassy, warning U.S. citizens against non-official travel to Nigerian military and government facilities in Abuja. The warning comes amid increased security concerns linked to recent global developments prompted by U.S. and Iran's military strikes. The Minister of Information, while acknowledging the right of foreign missions to issue such advisories, emphasized that there is no imminent or specific threat in Abuja and that the FCT remains one of the safest capitals in the world. I think that this was a good response because we did see that advisory. And I like the fact that the minister is very proactive in responding to such advisories. I mean, we're in Nigeria. You weren't here last week, Dr. Abati, when we took the story of Ben Murray Bruce saying that, there will be world disorder by these leaders. What did he call them? Some disruptors. But that Africa and Nigeria will be a safe haven.
Yes, and
that, you people will be coming to Nigeria to collect visas.
Yes.
But, that's just tongue-in-cheek when he made that statement. But Nigeria is safe, Abuja is safe.
So, guys, Nigerians have been reacting heavily because of what Tinubu said. You can imagine somebody whom Tinubu calls his classmate was said to be at least between his 10 to 13 years when Tinubu even graduated from Chicago State University. Tinubu knows that he has a very bad record when it comes to Chicago State University. You know, he has a very bad record and people have been following him up, you know, and with questions around whether he graduated, he didn't graduate, whether he actually went to that university. Don't forget that that university finally came out to tell us that one Tinubu graduated. They don't even know if he's a male or he's a female, but they know they had such a name. And they've been a lot around Tinubu's academic record. I'm just wondering why APC is always packaging people who don't have certificate, people who are not ready for the change that Nigeria deserves. Because you can't just bring somebody who has not even gone to school, whom you cannot even trace his academic record. These are the kind of people APC sends to come and govern Nigeria. And that is why things are falling apart in this country. I don't just know why we are still at this point, you know, talking about Tinubu's certificate. Normally, Tinubu is not supposed to be out there as the president of Nigeria. But the APC will always want to package anybody because they know elections will never be held the normal way. They know they will have influence over whoever is going to be the election or the INEC chair. Whoever is going to lead in that election. They want to influence them. And that's why elections, and people don't even believe in election. It's just to fulfill all righteousness. Anyway, guys, I don't know what you make of this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others. And drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.